Hey everybody, there we are. Another session of the bare bone espresso sessions. So, something completely different. I'm going to answer questions live here on YouTube. Questions that come in via the forum, our forum. You can find it on our website, chronoglide.nl, and then community. So, hey Marek. Yeah. Bare bone espresso sessions. We do it once a month. Try to do it once a month. And I'll talk you through the 5 rules. And the most important one of them is complete honesty. Makes it interesting for me. Makes it interesting for you. So, let's see who's in the chat. Enrique, Killian. Hey, Gary. Lithuania, of course. Vitis. QMac, hi there. London calling. We're out of the World Cup. It was a very short. Only slept for 1 hour last night, but the best team won. Morocco. Congratulations. Did a fantastic job, and we didn't do such a fantastic job. Hey Wim, leuk. Edwin. O'Grady, hey, James, think about O'Grady, James, Berlin, hi there. So, hey Rob, leuk dat je bij bent. Rachi, well, so nice of you. Slovakia, of course, Ivana. Swindon, sunny Swindon, oh wow. You don't get to use that sentence too often. New Hampshire, Thomas. Greece, oh, Naxos, hey. Lovely. Wales. Love Wales. Claire Lee is there. Elder. Leuk. So, what are we going to do? The bare bone espresso sessions. Bare bone, that's going to be me, because it is going to be completely honesty. Tom, Mark, Rob, Juriaan, thank you so much for all your work on the forum. So, the rules. I'm going to answer questions. And they are here. And no pre-selection on my part. The guys, Tom, Mark, Rob, Juriaan, they compiled, and I put it in here. Note to viewers. In the interest of fairness, we are trying to prioritize questions from forum members who haven't had one answered by Kalle yet. If your question isn't answered today, it will be saved for future streams. So, pre-selection not by me. I don't know the questions, and who knows what the answer is going to be. So, only questions via a forum. So, I really do appreciate your being in the chat. And I hope that if you think I'm thinking too much about the question, you say, be honest. That's so important. Complete honesty, 1 hour session, just about, if it's a bit longer, no problem. And for my peace of mind, the coffee is the joker. For one question, if I don't want to answer it, if it's too politically charged, because it is watchmaking, I have one joker. Cheers everybody. Zo, even kijken. Mark did the work, Kalle. Okay, Mark, thank you. I made a ramshackle camera setup, so I'm talking to you to make it more real. DE, ja, dat is toch de koffie, of niet? Lauwe Egbers. So, if you put in I see the quality of the camera is insane, is excellent, and the quality of your presenter isn't that excellent. Oh well, 4K, do we really need it? If you want to put in your questions, please do it via chronoglide.nl, our website, and you find community. Hey, another member, Stale Baker. Thank you so much. Welcome to the beans. You really make this happen, financially at least, because there's so much work going into it, and effort and investment in all the hardware. So really appreciate you being a member of our YouTube channel Chronoglide. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but let's see how it goes. Will D ask, Kalle, please unlock the mystery around installing specifically the Elastor KIF. I know exactly what you mean. If you want to do it from the top, it doesn't work. Excellent question. Love it. Do you slide the KIF straight onto the post to the top level of the jewel, or do you slide it on one horn around one post and wrap the other on a posing post? Because it's live, I don't have a KIF Elastor here, but I will. Maybe it takes a few weeks, but I will make a video about it. It is the shock system Will D is asking about. And that's a tiny spring on top of the capstone. In theory, the spring will stay in place. No, it doesn't. It doesn't with Inca block, and it doesn't with KIF. And I think, not exaggerating, there are 128 different shock systems we've counted. They're all the same, but with slight differences, so the patent isn't getting in the way. So, again, I will make a video about it. It is the tiniest spring, and KIF has got 2 horns, just like he stated, and it slides around the post. Sorry. To give you the best clue, slide it against the post horizontally. Slide it over the capstone and you'll find it clicks in place. Just the 2 prongs go around it. If you try to do it from the top, the spring will bend, and it's horrible. Been there, done that. I found 500 different ways not to do it. So it is an excellent question. A bit technical and a bit specific. Love the question, but if you're not into watchmaking, but then slide it in horizontally. Everybody's happy. Okay, well, a doddle. We can do this. Jason, Kalle, what are your thoughts on the older watchmaking books? Oh yeah. Such as the one as Henry B. Freed and the Kalle, of course, Kelly, Saunier, definitely. And what is there a movement that you haven't worked on but would like to? The books. At the moment, I am rewriting the complete watchmaker education. So not training, not just a course, but the complete education from novice to master. I find so many gems in the old books. So the Kalle, of course, it is dated, but what he states is still relevant. Hardly anything has changed in 200 years. From the top of my head, I think the Kalle was the original text 1946, first edition, or maybe it was Kelly. The books look the same if you order the reprint. And from Henry B. Freed, I think I even have a signed copy. So yeah, old books, excellent. The really old books are 17th century, the 1600s. I have a couple here in my possession that are from the 1700s, quite a few. The 1600s are getting really, really rare. A lot about sundials and stuff. But what I find for the scientific part, so formulas and how does it work on the scientific level, the books from the early 1900s, from 1904 to 1915, are the absolute best. And what I find with writing the complete training, education, is there are only about 7 watchmaking books. And the rest is, can I say this? Blatant copy. There are only just about 7 real excellent watchmaking books, and the rest are just watered down versions. Then again, I'm talking about pre-digital age, so they are really books, copies. That's why I thought this isn't going to be a commercial for buy our book, but if you're interested, but that's why I wrote Watchmaking Explained, because it isn't just text, it is photos, and with the 100 videos it makes it less abstract, and those 7 original books are incredibly abstract and not of any use during daytime watchmaking. Excellent book, of course, Daniel's Watchmaking, but it is more restoration and not really repair, and not that practical, even though it's excellent. Theory of Horology, not cheap, is an excellent book, but an accompany to the WOSTEP training. So if you just got the book and just read the text, you lack context, because context is given during education. So excellent again, but lacking just the day-to-day watchmaking questions. Oh, and there was another question, right? Is there a movement you haven't worked on yet, but you would like to? To be honest, I haven't worked on a tourbillon by design. I wanted to walk the vintage route, journey into watchmaking, and I always kept away from it. Of course, if you make photos or document it, you can always get it back together. But before I start, I don't want to mess around on, maybe I'll try this. So by design, I stayed away from tourbillon and carousel. Carousel isn't mentioned too often. It's a tourbillon variant. The drive is slightly different. So yeah, there is still so much to know, to learn, even about different escapements. I try to stay away from cylinder escapement. It is just too time consuming, and we don't have the luxury of time here in the workshop because we have to pay the bills. So yeah. And people have to be clients, have to be want to pay your hours. So if there's a lot of hours, the price goes up, and usually exceeds the simpler cylinder escapement movements. So yeah, don't have the luxury of time to really work on a movement for days and days and days on end, weeks, maybe a month during a restoration. can't do that. Anything in the tourbillon are so complex. The cage and the balance in the weight, that is the trick. Hey, from Romania, hi there. Yeah, true. Rob, absoluut. Zeker. Norway, Ivory Coast. Oh. I'm missing that. So, Jason, really hope that answers your question. A long answer for a very short question. But, yeah. Mike D. Here are two general discussions that are both beginner and expert alike. Broad appeal and color always brings a fresh perspective. Thank you, I really hope so. Epilam, that is a discussion. Or pellet jewel lubrication and epilam, yeah. And demagnetization on rebuild. And pre-wash tools, okay. Pre-wash the movement itself. Though I'm fairly certain of his are non-magnetic and the gases all not always. Having watched video tubes, YouTube magnetism dreaded epilam is rarely mentioned. Okay, yeah. I used a synthetic one. What are your thoughts? In the old days, magnetism was definitely the elephant in the room, and epilam is enough to drive us all mad. Cheers from Greenwich, where the times come from, and squeeze. Yeah, it does. Oh, Greenwich. Oh, we went into a pub there when we returned the cow Rolex from Mr. Steele. Had a lovely time, and with our team, we went to London, of course, Greenwich. And what you do when you're in London, go to the pub. And we went to the Greenwich Tavern, I think. From the outside, lovely pub, authentic, nice. Well, let's have a pint. And inside, it was all modern and a bit like fine dining. Really what we didn't thought we would find. I think it was the tavern. Yeah. Greenwich Tavern, maybe. Oh well, many questions. But luckily, Mark, again, thank you. Translation of this question. When during a restoration do you magnetize a watch? Demagnetize, of course. Beforehand, afterwards, or both? Maybe you've seen it during the live streams as well. Sometimes one of my screwdrivers is ever so slightly magnetic. And it's so easy with pulling the screws out. If you're lazy or if you're a professional and you have to finish the job to make money. So during disassembly, it is not necessarily the worst thing that can happen. But then again, before it goes into the, where is it? Cleaning machine, there. If it magnetized all the filings and the stuff, and even from the liquid, the filings and the magnetic stuff, particles, will go next to the magnetized item. Try a rotor from a quartz movement, put it in a cleaning machine. It is just a ball of stuff. Important to demagnetize before it goes into the cleaning machine. During disassembly, it's not the worst thing that can happen. And it's used, yeah, that's it, basically. What is your preferred demagnetizer? What is it? The Greiner Electronic, is it visible like this? Greiner Magnomatic, heavy one, and I think it's the industry standard. Yeah, we have several, and click, click, and that's it. Once you demagnetize on any demagnetizers, usually there's a button and it says click, and then if you do click, 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 you are magnetizing your item. So it's just click, clock, and then turn it 90 degrees, click, clock. And if you feel, I always keep the item in my hand. If you feel it pulling, not the movement, but anything you want to demagnetize, there is still magnetism in it because it's pulling in a magnetic field. If it isn't pulling, if it's neutral, then it isn't magnetized. And if you really want to be sure, and to be honest, it's a thing I never used before. Greiner as well. Do you remember these? There's a magnet here underneath. You do prrrr. You keep your item on here, and there is a small scale when you see if it's magnetized or not. We have several from an estate we bought many moons ago, and to be honest, I never ever used it. It's the Magno test. There. Hey, but in the old days, just put a compass next to it and you see if it's magnetized or not. They used to do it like that, even with a piece of metal on a cork in floating on water, and it works exactly the same as that. Please don't invest anything in that stuff. So yeah, demagnetize before cleaning machine, and yeah. And 3, what are your thoughts regarding the use of epilam, and do you use it in the escapement? Definitely, every single movement. Controversial. There are 2 violent camps of thought here, and it is just like a 2-party system in a particular country, and they're not ever going to be saying, well, maybe you're right. Epilam. Mechanical movement has to be lubricated to protect the pivots and the moving parts, just like your car. Now I sound old, but the usual car, the real car. Oil on a certain place, especially the very thin oil, Möbius 9010, it will spread out over time, especially with temperature changes. If the temperature goes up, the oil spreads out. Epilam is like Fixodrop, or we use anti-spread. Changes the tension surface of the item. Works on metal, works on plastics as well. Doesn't have to conduct anything. If you have trouble with visualizing surface tension, maybe you know those insects in ditches walking on water. Schaatsenrijdertjes, we call it here in the Netherlands. Small insects, and you see them on top of the of water. If you put just the tiniest drop of washing up liquid, detergent, next to it, the insect will drop through the surface, because the surface tension is changing. Epilam, if I'm not mistaken, because I do it all, I just see the questions now, is fluor based, and that's changing the surface tension. and that makes sure that the droplet of oil, which is very low viscose, so runny, it stays together, and it stays like that. Due to the surface tension around it, it stays like a droplet. And if the surface tension changes, it will just flow out. If it flows out, it can make the balance spring stick, which will make a watch run incredibly fast. And it loses the lubricating properties on the specific place where you want it, the pivots, usually. So yeah, very important. Again, highly controversial. We just put in the capstones, chaton, pallet fork, and escape wheel. We have had huge constructive discussions, not head to head, but just what do you think of it? Especially in Switzerland. Lovely discussion with Hendrik Korpela, watchmaking school in Le Locle. Excellent. The KHWCC. Top-notch watchmaking school. All kinds of discussions, even from the industry. And there are two camps. One say, epilam, just the jewels of the pallet fork. Just the tips, because there's needed. True. Then there's another camp. They say, who cares? Some restorers put just about any part in epilam. We don't. We are in, for the moment, in camp fully submerged pallet fork. And some people will go, what the hell are you thinking? But there are many excellent watchmakers in our camp. I am not yet fully convinced just the pallets are necessary, and it's so much easier to do. Oh, and if it's a long answer to the question, please bear with me. We have, here. We are cleaning our parts here in the cleaning machine like this. Function group by function group. Delicate parts next to each other. And the safest way and the easiest way to clean parts. And it's coming out of the cleaning machine like this. All parts perfectly clean, excellent. All the parts that goes into the epilam, we use a smaller container. What is it? Gaze thingy. This is the usual size. This is the smaller one. These are from Bergeon. Don't buy the incredibly cheap Indian ones, because the gauge is far wider and small springs will go through it. Horrible. These are excellent. Again, not cheap, but nothing from Bergeon is. So parts from our cleaning machine comes out like this. We always put in every team member here. We work all the same logic, so we can take jobs from another if a person isn't here, and it has to be finished. So 2 capstones, 2 chatons, an escape wheel and a pallet fork, usually. If it comes out of the cleaning machine like this, we don't have to open the container, so we don't have to contaminate the clean parts. And then you use this for epilam. It is incredibly volatile. Is it volatile? Volatile sounds like an explosion. It evaporates. Sure. Evaporates incredibly fast. So that is why here is a small diameter, so there's not enough surface for it to evaporate. So we put it in here. You can see through. So if we put in, I just put in this one. We don't have to touch all the parts. And then place it like this. All the parts are submerged. I always do. So no air bubbles. And leave it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That's about it. And then like this. This is so expensive. I don't want to sound too Dutch, but it is insane money, the epilam. But it is essential. We do it with every single repair. Always the same. Then here, everything is in the epilam. You leave it evaporate. Now there is another camp violently protesting. This now has to be warmed up, not heated, warm to the touch. Because it evaporates very quickly, just like a refrigerator, and the evaporation makes it cold in temperature, just cold, which make air droplets in the air going onto the surface of the parts. So you see the tiniest water, moisture droplets on the surface of the parts. So you have to warm it up and then it spreads evenly. If you check anti-spread and fixodrop, there are the specs. There are so many different kinds, different types, and some of them need to be warmed up. But then again, it evaporates. We have airco here. The moisture content in the air isn't too high. And yeah, we submerged the complete pellet fork. And I know some of you are gonna scream at your screen at the moment. And most of you say, excellent, so do we. Condensation, oh Tom, thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. Condensation on the surface of the parts. So yeah, some truth in it. To warm it up, the condensation is gone. But you are talking about a microscopic level. We are ready for someone to change our minds about just the pellets. But even with the leading figures in the industry, a full submersion of the pellet fork isn't that bad. And we know many service centers do the same. So that's it. Long question, but if we, especially with the epilam and the demagnetization, if you leave out one detail, we might break the internet for not being thorough or not being good watchmakers. Ja. Even kijken. Ja. Will D. How would you recommend properly storing and catalog the many new and used parts that come in the process? Bins, drawers, boxes, Excel spreadsheets. Thank you. Ja, Will. During our days as a professional watchmaker, I've purchased at least 15 workshops, and that sounds boasting, and but Some of them was just one guy on a spare bedroom repairing watches. And well, we bought the tools and the parts and stuff like that. But some of them were watchmakers with a few employees, so full force watchmaking. So we had a huge amount of parts, had to be sorted out, because if they're not sorted, they're useless. If you don't know what the parts, what they are, they're useless. And if you can find them, they're useless. So you have to know what the part is, from what caliber, and then able to find it. Because this workshop is grown organically, some parts was added. It wasn't like I had a some huge amount of money to invest, and how would you like your workshop? No. For me, it started at a spare bedroom as well. Many when I just started the Dutch watchmaking school. Very soon we got our first workshop, and it is the next building next year, number 16. It's a old bank, our Rabobank. And now we're here in this building, and it's the old grocery store of the village, with an excellent air conditioning. To answer your question, if they are not in blisters, we have a blister here. Yeah. These are blisters, and one side is always paper, because the moisture gets into paper, so parts don't rust. Traditionally. And if we have, here. ETA 2772. They are donor parts, donor watches, like that. Visible. And everything is here. We know the caliber. So we use an alphabetic order for brand names. And that is not the brand on your dial, it is the brand on your timepiece, on the main plate. The manufacturer of the watch parts, AS, and go through ETA, everything. And then just boxes like that. If they are not in blisters, like most of these parts, I would recommend a wooden chest of drawers, so it keeps the humidity stable. And because they're not in blisters, and the carbon steel parts might rust if they are in a moisture rich environment. If they're in blisters, we have them here all on the other side, metal chest of drawers, no problem with that. And with the air conditioning, the humidity is incredibly stable and low, and the change in temperatures and change in humidity, that is a problem, but really hope that answers your question. As long as you can find it, that's for everything. If you get the best result using chopsticks and a spoon, please use chopsticks and a spoon, as long as the result is impeccable. So yeah, well, that's how we do it anyway. VWM ask, in the meantime, we are busy with the bare bone espresso sessions. Me just being honest as a watchmaker and answering your question. 5 rules, and they are important. No pre-selection. I don't know what the question is going to be. Only questions via our forum, via our website, chronoglide.nl, and you find community, and that's the forum. And please have a look to meeting like-minded people, building up your network, finding parts, finding experience, finding information. Please have a look at our forum at chronoglide.nl community. Complete honesty, that is important. Otherwise, this would be just a show. Fake, don't like it. So, complete honesty. 1 hour, well, we'll see about that. Maybe a bit longer. And one joker, because I want to be completely honest. And if it's really close to home, because you can ask anything, or too politically charged in the watchmaking community, I have one joker. The coffee. So one question I don't have to answer, but I'll try to answer anything. Another question. What is behind the door over your left shoulder by the optical comparator? That's the optical comparator, Miyota, and that is the secret door. The secret door to the toilet. That's it. Just a toilet there. Should watchmaking courses now include an electronics session for quartz watches? Definitely, and I'm writing one now. Because you have to understand what you're doing. Practical work without knowledge is just, there's no use. So yeah, I'm writing now, and in a strange coincidence. That is my background. When I did mid school here? I did the technical school, middle technical school, MTS. Energietechniek hier in Alkmaar. And it was, what's the best translation for that? It was electrical engineer, I think. So yeah, really didn't like it, but to complete the school, the 4 years, was the fastest way to finish with school. If I changed direction, changed major, then I would have ended up a year longer at the school, and I really didn't want to do that. Even kijken. Mark. Oh, thank you so much for your comment. Excellent tip. I forgot. And thank you for sharing, Mark. Excellent. Thank you so much. Epilam on your oilers. Keep the droplets on your oiler together so it doesn't spread out. Makes oiling a bit easier. Clean them exceptionally good with some. We use alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. But Mark, thank you so much. Lovely addition. Yeah. So yeah, I'm writing in the full watchmaking education is a part electronics, understanding, and then once you understand, you know how to repair. Okay. Ooh. VWM asks, for any given BPH, beats per hour, 18,000, 21,600, 28,800, are the gear ratios the same for all watches, except the escape wheel? I know what you mean. I get the gist. But there are exceptions. There are many exceptions. In other words, if someone gave you a wheel and told you the number of teeth and leaves, you know what BPH that gear wheel came from. Pooh. Naphtha. Yeah, you can use naphtha as well. for degreasing your oilers for the mark suggestion using epilam. It is too much of a generalization of the gear ratios and the wheels. There is, even with the 18,000 beats per hour, which is the basic standard, there isn't enough, too much difference between the cylinder escapement movements from 1880, maybe even before that, and the lever escapements. So there's a lot of overlap, but there are quite a few. There are too many exceptions to answer your question one specific way. So sorry about that, but it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. So short answer: no. I won't know what movement it came from. No, it doesn't work like that, really. Butchered screws. Other than all our thoughts on who the heck did it in previous repair, is the preference for refinishing the head and slot recutting or finding replacement screws? Depends on the time. Here on my workbench, is it here? Yeah, here. I have two slot filing files. Yeah, so to refresh your cut, it is just seconds work, especially on an ankje, a metal plate with all the different size holes in it. Use the hole that doesn't pinch the screw, so the screw head is loose on the metal surface. Because if you use that small file to freshen up the screw cut, the file will direct the screw head and you get a beautiful straight file result. And if the screw head is fixed, then the file, the positioning of the file will change the slot in the screw head. So the screw has to be moving freely, and then chip zip just takes seconds. If you are quicker with finding a different screw, please do that. But every decade, roughly, I know that there are many exceptions. Don't kill me. don't put a car bomb under my coming Triumph. Triumph Dolomite is coming up. I had to sell my Rover P5B from 1969. He was getting too crispy, but now when it's coming over, I'll make a video about it. But the Triumph Dolomite Sprint, so no car bomb. Screw heads, just roughly, as a rule of thumb, changed appearance every decade. A screw from the 1960s doesn't look like a screw from the 1940s, but some brands use the same design or finishing over the decade, so then there are exceptions. But especially with Longines, it's got a different screw type profile than other brands. So if you can find a proper screw with the proper screw head design, if it's domed, if it's flat, if it's black polished, if it's chamfered on the sides, please use that. But I use just zip and so easy. Once you're in control, it is dead easy. How are we doing? Are there still people watching? I really do hope so. And if you want your answer to your question to be answered, please leave it on the forum at chronoglide.nl/community. Can be anything. Oh, yeah. VWM asks, if all the gear wheels in a gear train are jeweled, so that is just the pivot, the jewels around the pivot, does it make any sense, or is there any advantage also to have a cap jewel on each pivot? Oh, lovely question. Because it's nice. This is a cap jewel. So a jewel with no hole in it. Cap jewel. This is the normal jewel with an inside diameter, and it protects, and it's a bearing for the pivot. Especially late 40s, early 50s, until the early 50s, I think. The consensus was the more jewels in a watch, the better quality. If they are having a function, then you're right. If it's just a jewel in a movement, you're not. The capstone jewel on top of the normal jewel, and this is not, well, balance wheel, yeah, but in the gear train to make it less abstract. Hoe ga ik dit laten zien? Ja. Because I don't know the questions, I cannot prepare the answers, but maybe that's the fun of it. The pivots of the gear train in the until the 50s is a bit like this. Flat and then the pivot. So this is just where the pinion is. Flat with a pivot. So if with the end shake, the pivot is straight, so nothing changes too much. It's just a bit of end shake. This is end shake. This is division of the rubies. And if the end shake is too much, you can lower the top or put the lower one a bit up, and then lovely. Just a tiny bit of end shake. It must be moving freely without gripping the pivots. But if your pivot is shaped like this, like a trumpet, if you have end shake, the diameter will, because that is, if the pivot is like this, oh no, maybe like this, it is so much stronger because it's gradually, the diameter is getting bigger. So that is stronger than just a small pivot on a straight edge, because that can break very easily. When the trumpet pivots are like this, and you have a bit of end shake, if it goes upwards, the diameter of the pivot will increase, and it will be stuck. So then you have the capstone to reduce the end shake, so the diameter in the working area of the jewel will stay the same. Conical, clearly, thank you. I really hope that makes sense. So for quite some time there was definitely a use for a capstone in the gear train, but it depends on the shape of the pivot. Well, one or two more. yeah. I watched the videos from major watch companies that show one person very carefully assembling a watch that takes them 30 minutes to an hour or way longer. Isn't it closer to the truth that it's even in the upper class watches that they are assembled in an assembly line type of operation? Each person has a tray of parts put in it in the gear train. You put in the keyless work, you put in the dial hands. Yeah. And you're still thinking about people doing the assembly? Yeah. And you still think they are in Switzerland? Yeah. I think I put it I put it in a book. Maybe those engineers are eating cheese fondue, but they're eating cheese fondue with chopsticks. Yeah. Yeah. Well. Oh, these two more. Yeah, lovely. 3 short ones. If you're still up for it, if it isn't too boring, please let me know in the chat. If it's Kalle, what are you doing? Please work on watches. That's what we like. If you were sent to on a space voyage to the restaurant at the end of the universe, what would you want to take with you? Don't panic. The don't panic, that's a giveaway. A towel, of course. Well, you all know the answer is going to be 42 anyway. I think I will go on my BSA motorcycle. Yeah. Oh, here is a serious question. Ooh. What is your opinion, if you're willing to share? That's always a good start. Oh well. Of the Chinese movements as Seagull, Shanghai, Hangzhou and Peacock. The ST19, ST36. They are exceptionally good. For the money that you pay for it, it is impossible that they are produced for the price they're asking. The finishing is, well, basic, but finishing doesn't make a movement run great. Finishing of the aesthetics. I think it's risky that... Oh, thank you so much, Steve. Oh, love it. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the feedback and for the super gift. I think it's dangerous that it's so easy to replace a movement. And it's easy and cost effective, for lack of a better word. But you lose the skill of repairing watches, restoring movements. And that skill is in one professional lifetime gone and hard to start up again. So the movements, they are produced, yeah, sure. I think we all know that so many Swiss movements are being produced in the Far East. And they are excellent. For price quality, they are superior. But if you don't repair watches anymore and just replace them with new, you lose so much knowledge, experience for the future when you need it. So yeah, I am definitely not against Chinese movements or any part of the world, Japanese, whatever. As long as they... Ooh. I wanted to say as long as they don't pretend to be Swiss. But then I realized during the sentence that many Swiss brands are Chinese movements pretending to be Swiss. So that's a difficult one. As long as anybody is honest about the origin of their movements, I have no problem with them. What a minefield. Yeah. Oh. You know where the towel is. Excellent. Oh. Especially that's I think it's an inside joke, you can call it that, about the space voyage. It's from the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy, and I love the audiobook read by Stephen Fry. Oh, that is just so funny. And it's so close to Monty Python, which formed me to this day. And people who don't get the fish slapping dance, I don't have the energy to meet them. It's just, if you cannot appreciate the fish slapping dance, I don't understand what goes inside your head. Final question. If you replace the balance staff, does the balance wheel needs to be poised? Yes, definitely. How often in your business do you need to poise a balance wheel? Honestly, definitely not daily. Weekly, yeah. Sometimes a few in a week, and sometimes 1 week we don't have to do that. We do vintage watches, not too many antiques. So most of the watches we do have shock protection, shock system. So only I just have a Patek here. We need to replace the balance staff. It's 1940s and balance just broke. So we do have to poise the balance wheel, and that is static poising. Just make sure the heavy point is gone, and then dynamic poising in different positions. You remove a tiny bit of material because of the escapement error, the movement of the spring. So you then have to do the dynamic poising as well. I'm writing about that in the for the academy, because September is going to be very close. We only have July, August, late September, but definitely October. The first part of the watchmaking the Chronoglide Academy has to be available. I love doing that work, going through all the old books, compiling all the information and making it into practical information you can work on the bench. But the context, when you give new information and what you have to know before the next level is kicking in, that is tricky and that is lovely to think about. And the structure, what does a basic watchmaker need to know? And a level 4, and what does a professional watchmaker has to know? And then the specialist pro. And that structure I'm just finalizing now, and that is fascinating to work on. But a lot of work, but yeah. We are from January here an official watchmaking school here in the Netherlands. So that Chronoglide Academy is getting there. And we are working out the ideas of how do you call it? Scholarship. That underprivileged, I'm not sure, but people who cannot get another watchmaking education, we want to give out scholarships, and together with you guys, we want to make that happen. So the new generation is being educated, and people who don't think they were able to, we want to make it, we want to enable the Chronoglide Academy for them. So coming up, that's about it. Or Miyota, oh yeah. Well, again, lovely stream. Because being honest is the key word here. And I don't know the questions, is always... But I love the questions. It is fun and being practical as well. Debunking myth. That is lovely. If you like the stream, please hit the like button. That would be really nice for the growth of our YouTube channel Chronoglide. Tom, Mark, Rob, Juriaan, thank you so much for all your work you're doing. And I hope to see you soon. If you have questions, please log in on our website, chronoglide.nl. The book is there. All the courses are there for later this year. Courses here in the Netherlands. On watchmaker lathe, making parts yourself. Chronograph course. Being in control of Valjoux 7750. Landeron. Venus even. And we are doing a polishing course, polishing for watch cases and finishing, bracelets, case backs. If you make a scratch, it is just about 4 minutes work and it's back to perfect again. So please have a look on our website, chronoglide.nl, and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for your lovely questions and for the fun here in the chat.